is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah! Alright, the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun up? Just remember when you come up. The show is
Threads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, NRG Nutrition, Peter Roker's Gas Station, and Prince Masters.
Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh, put my kicks up on they desk, unaffected by they threats, then get busy on they. See, that's how that shit down made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If
You got it locked and loaded to the Wednesday, January 28th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. It is a Wednesday. It is an open line edition. We're going to open up the lines for you. We got lots to talk about, and I want to know what you want to talk about today, too. What's got your goat? All right? That's all coming up, and if you want to chime in and be part of the conversation, here's how.
Here's how you can become a talking head, brought to you by BTC.
Tax lines powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Text lines open, like I said, throughout the show. Phone lines open in New Providence, 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free in any one of the family islands, 245-5720, 242-300-5720. And you can stream us live, take us wherever you want to go, GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. BTC Fro Channel 612, Cable Channel 969. That's how you get it in. That's how you get it on for fresh new smart talk all day, right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. And like I said, lots to talk about today. Big part of the conversation, the headlines.
It's time for Headliners. Everything that's making headlines in the 242. Brought to you by the Fine Threads.
And here's what's blazing up the pages of the Nassau Guardian News and Views that matter since 1844, brought to you, of course, by Fine Threads. Emera, no final agreement with government on purchase of Grand Bahama Power Company. Boy, you got to look, dig deep through all of that, man. Make sure the same main parties are involved, you know. We would really not want a two-island monopoly now, would we? Boy, we got to look and see there. All right, but a big headline, Emera, no final agreement with government on purchase of Grand Bahama Power Company. So keep an eye on that and see how that unfurls and who are the players in that game. I think we have a right to know. Pintar dismisses PM's announcement as hot air. And this on the heels of last night's major announcement from the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis announced yesterday that the government intends to assume control of the Grand Bahama Power Company and bring consumers' energy rates in line with those of the rest of the country. Davis, who made the announcement in Grand Bahama, also said that the government is beginning a phase one, $100 million redevelopment of the Grand Bahama International Airport. Is this the money initially issued by the British company that was being held for, earmarked, or is this a different $100 million? From how it get here. But again, another announcement. Vinegar start, Vinegar finish. He also announced that MSC Cruises, through its affiliate and development company, will develop a new cruise ship pier complex and berthing area at the Billy Key property in the city of Freeport, alongside new visitor and commercial infrastructure. It sounds like another cruise ship drop-off destination point to me. The Prime Minister said the government signed a memorandum of understanding with Emera, imported yesterday, with respect to the Grand Bahama Power Company and reflects a shared commitment to explore a new path forward for energy in Grand Bahama. When completed, this would mark the first time the government of the Bahamas could control the power company since the Hawksbill Creek Agreement was signed. Davis said following a cabinet meeting and a series of high-level talks on the island. This is important because it will result in universal electricity rates across the Bahamas, ending a long-standing disparity between Grand Bahama and the rest of the country. Now, that makes me wonder, who are the players involved in acquiring all of this? Because we know the government always brings along partners. So you got to really keep your eye on this one. But my biggest thing is the $100 million for the airport. Where'd that come from? Was that the initial earmarked that was put aside at another $400 million that we've been talking about on this show? Or is it something new? Let's get to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, gracious you, Uncle Donnie. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, bro? You all right?
Yes. Remember back in the day when Leslie Miller brought up the thing with the power company when he's going to go buy the oil and stuff from Venezuela, and he turned that down, right?
And everybody in their mob, PLP, F&M, ABC, LMNP, freaked themselves out because of that.
I told you, he's crazy as hell. I'll never forget that. But come to find out,
but now, years later, the pot cake was ahead of the game. The pot cake had something there because
he was a genius. Question,
and now it makes me wonder.
For us to jump on that since the U.S. going to take over the oil rig across there and try rebuild it. Could we have any chance on jumping back on that, or that basically dead in the waters?
I guess that was with officials that were in the Venezuelan government at the time, or Venezuelan entities. If it was a private entity, maybe we could revisit it. I don't know. But obviously, with the situation that is in Venezuela right now, so volatile, I don't think anything is going to come out of that no time soon. That has to cool down and quell itself and calm itself before anywhere in the world could get involved in doing business there. But the interesting question I've always wondered is, who were the players in the game from the PLP and the F&M that didn't want the LNG pipeline to be here? Obviously, it was bad business.
Why that never took place anyway? What was the reason behind it?
They said it was going to blow up. They had all kind of boogeyman theories.
Whoa.
Now it'd be interesting to see if they do cut this deal with Emera and Grand Bahama, who are the players in the game that gain control of that power company?
Yeah. Hey,
those are the questions we need to ask.
Was your favorite radio station?
Pardon?
Tell the nation was your favorite radio station before you go.
Why you want me to do that? Why don't you tell me why don't you tell the nation what your favorite station is?
96.9 all the time.
Ditto.
There you go.
All right, have a good one, man. All right, get back to the headlines. Occasion yesterday provided little clarity on the status of the Grand Lucayan. Oh, and that means I get big city. Oh, boy, I tell you. Crime down 15%. Real. I mean, anybody know? Let me know. Tell me, please. This is very interesting. The anti-gang law was passed, but yet no charges under the anti-gang law. Nearly 2 years after the government's Anti-Gang Act was passed in Parliament, no one has been prosecuted under the law, with Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles telling reporters yesterday the Royal Bahamas Police Force encountered a roadblock with the legislation. She said certain amendments need to be made to the law, but she did not specify them. However, in September 2025, Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe said the government intended to amend the anti-gang law to include provisions for witness protection. Knowles was asked about the law at a press conference at police headquarters yesterday and responded, no, we have not put anyone before the courts as of yet. We're still in communication with the Director of Public Prosecution and also of the Office of the Attorney General to iron out what we saw as a roadblock. And hopefully once we can make amendments, we'll be able to proceed. Then make the amendments. When contacted for comment yesterday, Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sand said the lack of prosecutions under the law was evidence of more hot air and little action on the part of this administration. So you've got legislation on the books, but what has it done in terms of improving safety in this country? Nothing, Sand said. He compared the lack of action under the Anti-Gang Act to the Freedom of Information Act, which is yet to be fully implemented along with public procurement rules the FNM has long said the Davis administration is not adhering to. It is pontification for public consumption of this wonderful erudite legislation and what's impact it's having on the lives of ordinary Bahamians. Zero, nothing, Sands said. He also questioned the status of the government's Clear Hold and Build initiative, another crime-fighting tool meant to fight crime and improve safety in Bahamian communities. A lot of questions, still no answers. All right, let me get to the text lines real quick. And like I said, we're going to open up the lines on the flip side of the break when we get into the buzz, all brought to you, of course, by John Shoes. Good afternoon, Naughty. Where's the money coming from to buy the Grand Bahama Power Company? Very interesting. Who are the players in the game? Good afternoon, Naughty. The PM going crazy. He said that he had a MOU with the power company in Freeport. Apparently, the power company don't know what he's talking about. Is that desperado? The airport ID the same? Listen, anything when it comes to Grand Bahama from this administration, I class that in the BS column until I see action down there. So you could only imagine Grand Bahamians who live there and what they think. Naughty, there are no players because Emera was not present at that meeting. Oh, Lord have mercy. What's going on? Why is it that every time this administration makes a trip to Grand Bahama, all we get is just varying stories? This one say one thing, it turned out that wasn't true. That one say the next thing, that wasn't true. What's really going on, man? I mean, come on. What's going on? And we can't get a straight answer. How can people not be present in the meeting? An MOU, allegedly. My God. You can't write this any funnier. Can we at least admit that this administration seems to be in desperation mode right now? Throwing Hail Mary after Hail Mary, throwing anything at the wall, hoping it'll stick? Wow. And I'm getting text after text out of Grand Bahama saying Emera has no idea where this MOU come from. When we get to the buzz, I want to hear from Grand Bahama. 242-300-5720 is toll free. Or text in or WhatsApp and let me know what's going on in Grand Bahama for real. What y'all hearing? Because I can't get nothing, you know, and no statement from the OPM either. Very interested. There was a statement? My apologies. There may have been a statement. I stand to be corrected. And if there was one, I'll revisit it now. But it's probably more pontification. I mean, this is the best one yet, though. How you could have a meeting and have an MOU and nobody was in the room? Well, now I could say, well, I had a Zoom with Jerry and Stephen Jones to become the new marketing director for the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody was in the room, but we had that meeting, including Jerry, no Steve. Naughty, why was there only one question per media house after the PM speech? Is that the norm? Wow, they at least took one question in Grand Bahama. Naughty, they don't take questions. You got to email them in. And then they decide which questions they'll take. So to take them straight off the quiz, only one each? I have no idea. Naughty, the tractor went at the airport yesterday, but apparently they took it back and it was not on site today. Good afternoon, Naughty. The PM and his deputy want SpaceX, them to relieve us of the high cost of living in this country. Naughty, I trying to catch up. Why Clint mad with Darren? We'll get to that on the flip side of the break. Naughty, this administration is conch salad, all mixed right up. Naughty, someone told me at a hotel like 2 weeks ago that the Grand Bahama Power Company was being sold, allegedly. I said to him, that isn't true. Now it is true. Then he calls the name out. We still doing an investigation. Yeah, well, that's why I was in the game. But my mind run on the same name that you just texted me, that you told me not to call out because you're doing an investigation. Well, you do your investigation, I can do my investigation, and we can meet right back here at Talking Heads. But I wonder if it's the same players involved. One has to wonder. You know that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it when it comes to certain things. Well, you got to keep an eye on who's involved in all of this. All right, let's take a quick break. Flips out of the break. We'll be back at you on the Wednesday, January 28th edition of Talking Heads, which continues right after this.
Oakland out to Oakland, Gaza Strip to Detroit. Say hip hop only destroy. Tell them look at me, boy. I hope your son don't have a and never be a D-boy. Already the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up. The show goes on all night. Already the show goes on all night.
Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then Fine Threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then Fine Threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-236.
Enjoy real food at a real good price with KFC's value deals. For $5.95, you can get a famous bowl and drink or a one-piece chicken box. For max value, grab a value box. That's a piece of our iconic chicken, nuggets, cheesy mashed potato, a buttery biscuit, fries, a dessert biscuit, and soda, all for just $9.95. KFC value deals have got the crunch that you're looking for. KFC knows value, and it's finger-licking good.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's time for The Buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by John's Shoes.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah! Alright, the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up. The show goes on alright. Already the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up. The show goes on. Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh, put my kicks up on their desk, unaffected by their threats. Then get busy on they. See, that's how that Chi-Town made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay me. Go on and put your hands up. When times is hard, you stand up. LUP the man, cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban us, they'll never slow my plans up.
We're back at you on the Wednesday, January 28th edition of Talking Heads for Naughty and Company, right up till 6 p.m. And right now, we're into the buzz, all brought to you, of course, by John's Shoes. Don't forget the brand new location out there at the Old Fort Shopping Plaza. What exactly? It was at the Windsor Shopping Plaza. It's right out there in that Old Fort area, right opposite Fresh Market. You can't miss it in the new shopping complex. John's doing big things out there, man. So be sure to check them out. Now you got 3 locations. And still shout out to, the Carmichael location and the flagship store in Rosetta. John's always got it hooked up for you, man. So be sure to check him out at all 3 locations. All right, we're into the buzz. Lines are open, man. What y'all buzzing on? Ground Bomb, I want to hear from y'all. Yet another trailer load of cow dung delivered to y'all. I mean, no clear answers in sight. And skirting over the Grand Lucayan. what's Grand Bahama got to say about all of this? Very interesting. The situation with the power company down there in Grand Bahama as well, very interesting. Who are the players really connected behind the scenes to this going down? Folks would like to know. And like I said, we have no Freedom of Information Act. We have no Procurement Act, but we do have questions. And administration after administration fails to realize that governments or administrations work for us. So we have every right to ask questions, and we need answers. Why was Darren Cooper and local radio station barred from the PM press conference? Because Clinton has feelings that he barged into 102.7 the Rhythm in Grand Bahama while Darren was on air, demanded to be on the show, which is not proper protocol, and he knows better. He's a veteran in the industry. He's the GM of ZNS, for God's sake. Nobody could barge up to ZNS on the hill and get in right away. He certainly can't do it in talking. So Clint should know better. Clint could have called station management. He could have made a call in directly to the show. That would have probably been fielded a lot better. He could have written a complaint to IRCA right there and then, not days later. Okay? And the whole bully boy taking the whole staff of the ZNS Northern office down there on taxpayers' dime. And then when, Darren got off here, he walked out in the parking lot to talk to Mr. Watson, and Mr. Watson tucked tail and gone. So that is probably why I think, in my opinion, why they were banned from the press conference. Good evening, Naughty. I feel very bad for my Freeport residents. PM swing the crowd once again. Mud does. Naughty, they stopped the Rhythm from entering and attending the cabinet meeting. Just talked about it, Texter. Ridiculous. What is with this administration trying to silence and muzzle media and not have, only want to put out a certain brand of news on certain outlets? Naughty, do you know of a company named Polycon? The PM said they would be constructing the airport along with the Bahamas Hot Mix. Well, I'm on it. I'll do my due diligence. Once a day, a Decepticon, we good to go. Obviously, the government is lying about Grand Bahama, and Nassau Village ain't feeding the PIP at all. Their rally was empty. People didn't even want their liquor or food. Only a couple drunk old men. Wow. Anybody got any pictures or video to back that up? Not saying that I don't believe what you're saying, but picture paints 1,000 words. Naughty distractions, and non-distractions, and more distractions, Texas. I with you. Without, addressing the media properly, without a proper Freedom of Information Act, Procurement Act, we get caught up in these distractions, and the real questions that deserve real answers and solutions get pushed to the back burner. And here we are. But like I said, the whole Grand Bahama situation, we need answers. And how many times have we heard the airport story? How many times have we heard the Grand Luke Hines story? Now let's throw another one out there, the Grand Bahama Power Company. And we don't know if that's fact or fiction yet, but we'll see. Obviously, for the PM to get to the point where he says he has an MOU, something had to go down. But again, who are the players involved in the game? That is the more important question. The next question is, why is Grand Bahama take such abuse from PIP administrations? I mean, I got two texts with the same question almost. Naughty, the PM and Emera are only Naughty, the PM and Emera are only talking on terms of power for the Grand Bahamian. Ain't no sale will happen. Questions will be hard to come by. The PM and his team, Mitchell is training this crew, and it reached by the police commissioner. No questions asked, please, no answers necessary. And that is not democracy. Let's go to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Naughty.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, buddy. Listen,
How are you?
PLP, don't forget now, the FNM just got out of power 4+ years ago, right? And the PLP is in power now. I'm a COI, you know. They would promise the people of Grand Bahama nothing. At least the PLB promising them something, you understand me? But at the end of the day, I don't see how they can be making noise, you know. As long as the port in charge of Grand Bahama, nothing much can happen on that island, Naughty.
Yeah, I know, and that's why you still got to look at the players in the game. It's not a question to me or what they promise, because empty promises mean nothing. I want something with a solution, and obviously I want to know who the players are in the game, because it can't be the same old, be getting generational wealth on the backs of Bahamians.
Yeah, that's true too. You know, it all goes back. Bahamian people need to come together. We are too political in this country. You know, if something is wrong, everybody need to come together. Whether you would COI, PLB, or FNM, they got to come together. You understand me? When the PLB is in power, they don't see no wrong. When the FNM is in power, they don't see no wrong. So when are we going to come together as a country?
That's more importantly, we got to unify, number one, and be able to agree to disagree on things. I mean, it used to be this way in the States. I can't say it is now today, but I know back in the day, you got two Americans in the room, they don't discuss politics. They'll discuss anything else, but they won't talk politics. And they'll work fine and get along, not us.
No, that's true.
FNM find out use the PLP, that's the issue. PLP find out use the FNM, that's the issue. COI find out use the PLP or FNM, they ready to kill all of them. So you see, we got to get together, we got to work it out. But I appreciate the call, man. Don't be no stranger. Let's get to the next call. Talking Heads. Talking Heads.
Hello. Hello.
Turn your radio down and talk to your phone. What's going on?
Okay, 1 minute. Hello, Naughty.
Yes, sir.
Naughty, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Well, too. First of all, allow me to commend you for the task you're taking on. I would like for you to visit East Avenue, and that's in Centerville. The Centerville Park there. Send your photographers, your video people there, and see what the condition is.
East Avenue, Centerville Park?
Yes.
All right, I'm making a note of that. I'll make sure to try, swing by there tomorrow in my runs and have a glance.
Yeah, and some time ago, Naughty, there used to be a gentleman who used to chalk out the various dam. I think his nickname was Yo-Yo. I wonder if he's alive or dead. But he's very good grounds person.
Right. That could probably, if he's still around and still active, that could probably get that in shape, huh?
Yeah. So,
but we have people that we give contracts to take care of these parks.
Pardon me?
We have a whole department, beaches and parks, and we give out contracts for people to take care of these parks. So now we need to find out who are getting these parks contracts, why are these parks derelict, and why are so many parks, roughshod and in derelict condition.
Well, that Centerville Park would be under the purview of the President Minister, Mr. Jomo Campbell.
Jomo is a friend of the show. I can give Jomo a call and see if he can get something done about that park, all right?
Yeah, okay.
All right, man. Thanks for your talk. All right, let's get to the other phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, man?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you, bro?
Wonderful, wonderful. Listen, I was hearing a long time about MSC involvement in Grand Bahama, But I don't think it's over yet, because what I was hearing was they're just trying to buy the whole Port Authority.
Oh, wow.
This thing right here ain't nothing new to me, that they trying to acquire that piece of land for their own purposes. But I don't think it's the end of it. Probably around this year, whoever in power, they could be saying something shortly about that as well.
All right,
so investor.
We'll keep an ear out for that.
I will.
And let me know, man. You on the ground over there, let me know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, man.
What's going on with the airport? They tell me the tractor was there yesterday, but the tractor gone today.
Listen to me now. Yeah, I know what's going on with that airport. It's the same way I left. That is the same way it is right now. Same exactly.
I trying to figure out where this new $100 million come from.
They saying they doing movement and they doing this and they doing that, but we ain't seeing it.
Only thing they moving is they mouth and
I don't know. I can't say they lying, but they tell a lot of untruth.
All right, keep an eye on it, man, and keep me posted, all right?
Yeah, man, no problem, Naughty. Have a good one,
All
man.
right, bro. Be safe, bro. Blessed. Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
What's happening, boy?
Hey, what's going on?
All right. The caller before the last one, he said a phrase that stuck out. He said,
what?
He said a phrase that stuck out. As long as the port is in charge.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Man, your point to that.
Okay. What has any government promised about Grand Bahama that has come true so far? Nothing, right?
There's been a lot of empty promises over the years to Grand Bahama.
No, nothing. Nada. Zilch. Okay?
You can let me answer, or you can answer for me?
Okay, answer that.
I know that they got a lawnmower in West End, okay? So don't say nothing, zilch, zero, sir. There has been stuff that's been delivered, okay?
Anyway, let me tell you what I got to say, okay?
All right.
Grand Bahama and the port itself is what's called a pre-constitutional entity. It's written into our Constitution. Okay? The port,
I'm following you. Go ahead.
The port has all the rights of a Bahamian person. And the government cannot do anything in Grand Bahama without the port's agreement. Okay? Now, see, we keep on hearing these guys kicking this ball back and forward. But since that vendor, the investors didn't break, and Freeport remains broken. And that's all there is to it. Now,
this is true.
I think, we're going to have some activity soon, okay, because I think, England and America have come to some kind of agreement on the purpose of Grand Bahama off the eastern seaboard of America, okay? And Grand Bahama is like a protective place for that deep, there's a deep channel there. I think it's the largest one in the world, right?
One of, if not. But let me ask you this question. The government still got East End and West End, Grand Bahama. What's going on with that?
No, but it does not matter. Because
what you mean? If it's for all Grand Bahamians, we got to ask the question, right? What's going on with East End and West End Bahama? That's where the government controls.
East End Grand Bahama and West End Grand Bahama have been getting the same story over the past 50 plus years.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
All what's happening now, right, is Grand Bahama is in maintenance mode. Okay, waiting for the owners to show up. I know, and our Prime Minister could say all he wants, posture all he wants. He can't do nothing without the port. And that's just, it's written into our Constitution. Understand me?
Well, we got to figure it out, man. We got to find it, man. It can't continue to be a monopoly, but Bahamians have to benefit as well too, and have more of a say.
See, when people spend their money, that comes with a certain responsibility. Okay, I mean, in '67, right? You went to Freeport, and Freeport had cable. Freeport had cable in '67. See, understand the depth of this thing. Okay, what Freeport was supposed to be was like a British outpost off the eastern seaboard of America. Okay, now we have reneged on the potential of Freeport. If Freeport had been allowed to go, all of that stuff in there, those bits and pieces of tech, they could have been, they could have been used all over this country, man.
All right.
Then as now, we are suffering from a crisis of leadership, you see?
We've been suffering long and hard and plenty, man. I can't tell you where to lie with that. But listen, the taxpayers are covering expenses that are debatable as to whether they are the port's responsibility, schools, the airport, so on and so forth. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions to be raised about Grand Bahama.
But the majority of taxes of stuff being paid in Grand Bahama is the port's responsibility, and the government. Our government actually owns nothing in terms of upkeep. No, man, we have to...
Yeah, we need to see who's on the board and who's involved, man. Good stuff, but I got to get to these other calls, man. Have a good one. Let's get to these other calls. Talking Heads.
Naughty.
Yes, sir.
Listen to me, that boy talking a bunch of foolishness. The only reason Grand Bahama the way it is now is because that guy died, right? Edward St. George. A lot of investment is going on, and when it go on to the Bahamian people who are now in charge of it, then everything go on haywire. Once they find a person who actually cares about the country like that guy did, and what he did for a lot of Bahamians, everything will be all right in Grand Bahama. I can't accept what that guy is saying as I said. That sounds like a bunch of nonsense to me. All right, Naughty.
I appreciate you calling back. I appreciate you chiming in. I mean, I'm sure Grand Bahama is going to have varied opinions on it. So you got to, voice yours. Let me check the text lines. Naughty, they need to free up ZNS ASAP. Good afternoon, Brother Naughty. We in Grand Bahama Island cannot allow any government to buy and operate our power company. We prefer foreign investment to run the Grand Bahama Power Company or the Port Authority take control. Grand Bahama citizens will stand up in 2026. We are ready. From the Grand Bahamas, we are listening today. Salah. All right. Shout out Grand Bahama as always. Naughty, I'm sorry I didn't get pictures or video, but it's true, and you all need to inspect those pictures of massive rallies because I think they're using AI to swing people. Yeah, man, I saw some massive rally AI. Look a little AI-ish to me. I ain't gonna lie. Good evening, Naughty. Why does PLP treat Grand Bahama like they stole something? But I noticed Anton gone quiet. The war room is in trouble big time. That might be strategic. Or are you saying that even the great Anton has run out of political BS to cover for his beloved PLP? It's very strange the government wants the power company since they're, selling off BPL to outside investors now. And that's why I keep saying you got to find out who the players in the game are. All right, we got some more text coming in. Someone please tell Brave just ring the damn bell and let that clown in the office of the Prime Minister know it's time for him to be out. Brave is a horrible excuse for a Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Naughty, MSC want to buy Freeport Container Port and Freeport Harbor. That's all. MSC wants nothing else. Naughty, you got to drive back in Carmichael Road. That main road is so bad, it's depressing of the neglect. I could shoot down there tomorrow. Me and MJ could take a trip down there tomorrow. I got a ride by Phil Smith Park anyway. So, yeah, thank you for the heads up on that one, too. But here we are every day. Bahamians, they're hurting you hear it in one way or another. And it's not like we're asking for over and above. We're asking where our tax dollar is going and why are parks being neglected and why are we not benefiting from our tax dollar? All valid questions. And valid questions as to if you're going to sell off an entity like the Grand Bahama Power Company, then we need to know who the players are involved, where it's going to, who's purchasing, so on and so forth. These are all valid, legitimate questions. If we got another caller on the phone line, let's go to that caller. If not, caller, hit us back. Talking Heads. All right, hit us back, caller. But again, over and beyond, continue to get in text out of Grand Bahama. Naughty, the neglect in Grand Bahama is real. Naughty, they need to do better. We still need answers on the airport. We don't believe in anything what they say pertaining to the airport. Okay, so If Grand Bahama's lost complete confidence in this administration and what they say, then let information be put out there so people can at least formulate the who, the what, the why, the when, the where, since we're not getting answers and don't know where the money going. There's a lot of promises, but people, especially Bahamians, but I mean in Grand Bahama especially, they're tired of promises. Since day one of this administration has been promise after promise after promise after promise after promise to Grand Bahama with zero delivery. Abaco has its issues. Eleuthera has its issues. Other family islands are crying out. What's really going on with this administration? Naughty, tell the text writer Anton calls into other shows down on God. Of course, call into echo chambers. You don't have to deal with facts and hard questions. And when bad BS is not palatable, yeah, we don't do that here at Guardian Radio. We ask questions whoever you are. And if you have, the fortitude to come on the shows, regardless of your political affiliation, we're going to ask you questions. Some will be tough, some will be easy, but that's what comes with the territory. But most PLP pontificators and propagandists, they want a safe cocoon mode. You can't see that taxpayer money is funding one right now on the National Broadcast Corp with ZNS. Apparently with a new host. I tell you, boy, Clint getting that nod in Southern Shores, boy. Obi, you got to take one for the team again. Naughty, I agree. The PLP does not like to answer questions. Did you hear a voice note from Mr. Mitchell telling young PLP after press? No, I don't waste 3 to 4 minutes out of my life listening to Fred Mitchell's dribble on voice note, but I've seen people make comments about it throughout the day. But that's the modus operandi of the PLP and Mr. Mitchell. Answer nothing. Let me get back to the text lines. Naughty, this administration has now been in power longer than the Minnis administration. So to keep complaining about what was the last administration didn't do doesn't make sense anymore. Exactly. Minnis is a non-factor. His era is over. He paid at the polls, Y'all got to talk. Harry is the head that weareth the crown. This administration is on the clock. This administration needs to answer questions. This administration needs to be transparent. Money going out, money getting borrowed, but where is it going? And I want to hear from Grand Bahama after we get into the break in the 5 o'clock. We'll talk sports as well. But I've heard the Deputy Prime Minister, make great assertions, in the past and recently about Grand Bahama's tourist arrivals are up. But if they all go into the private cruise ship islands, is Grand Bahama really feeling it? Air travel is up? Heads and beds are up in Grand Bahama, really? So Grand Bahama, I want to hear from you all. I want to hear from the port. I want to hear from cab drivers. I want to hear from people working in Alukaya. I want to hear, are you feeling the impact of all these tourists in Grand Bahama on the ground? Are you feeling it? Whether you F&M, PLP, COI, whoever, let me know, Grand Bahama. I want to hear, are you feeling the impact of all these tourists? Are you feeling the trickle down in your pocket? Or are you getting trickled on? Caller, let's go to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, what's happening, Naughty?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Well, I'm calling from Grand Bahama, and I don't feel it. I feel more I'm getting trickle on than the trickle down.
There you go.
To hide the disrespect, the Prime Minister came to Grand Bahama, didn't even see it fit to address the employees at the Alakaya to let them know yay or nay, let them know if they still got a job, let them know what's going to happen at the hotel. I mean, hide the disrespect to those workers. Said the workers got paid, that their money is in the bank, and not a single soul at the hotel have got paid. People still waiting on their money. People still can't get national insurance benefits. You had pregnant women who work at the hotel can't claim maternity benefits because the national insurance wasn't being paid. I've been being paid from last year summer.
My God.
And reference to the Grand Bahama Power. Nassau Power is in shambles. Abaco and Shamus. Abaco always complaining. Lucha always complaining. How the hell you could deal with grandmama? Furthermore, you can't pay the nurses the overtime. You can't pay the doctors. You can't pay the teachers. Where you find the money from to buy
Don't
the power
forget the
company?
police insurance still out of whack.
Yeah, police insurance ain't get paid yet. So where you gonna find this money from to pay to buy the power company? You know, the Prime Minister said that, listen, while he's speaking, politician now is going on at the international airport. They bought a truck out there, did a photo op, bought all the MPs and all a bunch of rental cars.
And now I hear the tractor going.
And so when they leave, the tractor going before the speech was finished. They going. The tractor was going.
So this like the window they broke out?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
The broken window at Grand Lucaya?
They came, knock a hole in the wall, and as soon as the camera and the lights turned off, they went back and fixed the hole.
Ah, Lord.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just a height of disrespect. This just further shows that this government have no care, no love, no interest in Grand Bahama. There's nothing that I
But
can
I
point
would
to in
suggest that
Grand
Grandmama. Go ahead.
There's nothing that I can point to in Grand Mama that this administration started and finished in the last 4 years. There's not one single project I could point to and say they did.
Well, I think Grand Bahama, the only way Grand Bahama can answer at this stage is if you're registered to vote, get out there and vote. If you haven't registered to vote, register to vote. And if you've been registered sitting on the sofa, and not voting, get your boogie off the sofa and go vote.
The Carnival deal, the Carnival project that they boasting and bragging about, that was signed under the Minister administration. It just happened to finish under them. You know, all these projects But a
Grand Bahamian's really benefiting from that.
No, and that's the problem. The Grand Bahamian, if you work at the property, yeah, but the taxi drivers, the tour operators,
and that's where we got to find a common ground in order for everybody to make something out of this tourism.
It's dead. Freeport Harbor, dead. The Pirates Cove, dead.
I went here from some of the vendors in Port Lucaya and Grand Bahama.
Say that again?
I went here from some of the vendors in Grand Bahama and Port Lucaya because I've seen horror story videos.
Well, this lady called in this morning who works at the Alakaya. Said she's on her way to National Insurance, the social service, to try to see if she could get some help because she ain't got no money, she hungry. But yeah, the Prime Minister talking foolishness, but the people get paid, and the woman on her way to social service to see if she could get some assistance. But you know, and people celebrating, blowing on, and waving flag while us in Grandmama really feeling this. You people in Nassau, I mean, you have no clue of what's happening in Freeport. Don't mind the pictures. You all need to come to Grandmama and walk through Port Lucaya.
Listen, caller, help me because I just had a text speaking of pictures. Just sent a text and saying, "Naughty, ask you call about the rallies in Grandmama. Them pictures real or they AI?"
Well, I don't pass them. I don't go there, so I really can't say. But I can tell you one thing: there's a handful of PLPs in Grandmama who is living really high on the horse right now. There's a handful of them.
And outside of that, lots of sufferation or everybody happy?
Like it's only a handful, only a few. It's only a few PLPs, not all the PLPs. Because you have many, many PLPs who complain. And there are many PLPs they will give me an example. How many PLPs is called your talk show complaining? The talk shows period complaining. Last year election, your station would have been loaded with PLPs talking, tooting the PLP horn. How much of that do you get now? Yes. Don't mind what the PLP saying. Listen to what they're not saying, and they're not saying much at all because they have nothing to say.
All right, good stuff. I got to get to these other calls, but good stuff as always, man. Let's get to the other call. Talking Heads.
Hey, good day, Naughty.
What's happening?
Everything good. Hey, when I look at Grand Bahama crisis, right, it reminds me, right, of being a Bahamian, you know, because it appears that Grand Bahama has so much potential, just like every Bahamian, wherever island they might be on, has, right? And it appears that Nassau don't really want to release the whole over that potential because, you know, once they keep their domination, right, on the citizens, right, then the potential of that we as a people and our islands have, we could never realize them things, but, you know, And so that's what I was looking at, because it doesn't matter because the proof is there. It doesn't matter what government is in, right, in power. And then when we look at our surrounding archipelago and the way the islands are struggling, right, and then you come home to Nassau, it seems like Nassau is the only life that these people them are interested in and making provision for, and Nassau is not the Bahamas, right?
You're talking about the politicians.
Yeah.
You're talking about this administration. You're talking about the politicians.
I talking about this administration, right? And especially this administration, right? Because let me tell you why I say especially this one. This administration had the ability to correct a lot of things of what people was complaining about for decades, right? We always said, so ain't nothing what we who 50, 40, 30, even 60 complaining about, he don't have no clue about, right? So for a man of that stature to continue to come in midst of people and want them to pretend that what they seeing, they ain't seeing. God forbid another 5 years of this type of deception. Have a nice
And gaslighting. Good stuff, man. I appreciate the call, man. Don't be a stranger. All right, we got to get to the break. Flip side of the break. The news is coming up. Right after the news, we'll carry it over into the 5 o'clock hour, and we'll talk sports. So keep it right where you got it. The Wednesday, January 28th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Already the show goes on. Night till the morning, we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh, put my kicks up on they desk, unaffected by they threats, then get busy on they see, that's how that Chateau made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay me. Go and put your hands up, when times is hard, you stand up. LUP the man, cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban us, they'll never slow my plans up.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Public transportation drivers, start your day the smart way. Roker's Gas Station. Get a whopping 12 cents per gallon off diesel. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's unheard of, but it's true. Roker's loyalty card saves you money, and it's free. Get yours now on the spot. Wide entrance, multiple pumps, no congestion. In and out fast. Some Malawala Highway and Faith Avenue.
Roker. Crunch boring lunches and enjoy real food at a real good price with KFC's value deals. For $5.95, you can get a famous bowl and drink or a one-piece chicken box. For max value, grab a value box. That's a piece of our iconic chicken, nuggets, cheesy mashed potato, a buttery biscuit, fries, a dessert biscuit, and soda, all for just $9.95. KFC value deals have got the crunch that you're looking for. KFC knows value, and it's finger-licking good.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah! Already the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Naughty Nutrition, Peter Roker's Gas Station, and Prince Masters.
Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave. Put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through they teeth.
We're back at you on the Wednesday, January 28th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. We will be talking sports in short order. But, I'm just going to carry this over a little bit into the 5 o'clock because there's a lot of interesting texts coming in. We still got some callers on the line. And let's get to these right now. Let me get to the text. Naughty, tell the text writer. Oh, no, these are the old ones. All right, give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Good afternoon, Naughty. Nothing has budged in Grand Bahama for 50 plus years. People can say what they want. Look at the results, and you would know what the purposes are. Those two can never be separated. Hey, Naughty, from the by-election in West End, the trick and more trick by the PM and his crew would not stop. Mitchell is next. Why Anton would not call in to Guardian Radio and face the Naughty one? Ring the bell. Hog nowhere to rub their skin, texter. Naughty, this PLP government has been like one long night of bad, boring sex. It would never reach a climax. Oh, my God. No. Good afternoon, Naughty. Who told her to say that someone told that lady to say one bad apple cannot, I repeat, cannot mess the whole bunch? We need to stop playing crackhead games. Just ring the damn bell. Good afternoon, Naughty. The incoming Prime Minister, leader of the FNM, needs to make sure that people come out to support the party in the next election. A lot of the PLPs will not be voting. They might be registered, but a lot of them say they are not going to vote. I've heard a lot of, infighting and finger pointing within the PLP as well. All right? I mean, I got friends in the PLP who's called. Here's another one. Good evening, Naughty. Just is known to be alien to the truth. He said that the air arrivals are up and that Grand Bahama had over 1 million tourists in Grand Bahama. But what is so interesting is that all of these things are so good in Grand Bahama. Why did Grand Lucaya Hotel close if things are so good? Chester always comes to Grand Bahama and tells mistruths, like Grand Bahamians are so stupid to believe in. He must remember that most Grand Bahamians are proud people and very smart when voting for a government that has always shown that they care and love the people in Grand Bahama. And that party is the FNM. All right, Texter. Got to go with what works for you. All right. Like I said, phone lines open. So chime on in. Let me get back to the text lines. Here's very interesting. Good afternoon, Naughty. The DPM is bragging that the country's stopover visitors last year was an increase over pre-pandemic levels. In 2019, there were 1,806,000 visitors. In 2025, there were 1,821,000 visitors. The difference is 15,000 extra stopover visitors last year versus almost 5 years ago. Is that something to brag about considering the millions we give to tourism? Very good question. But interesting. 6 years, only 15,000. What are we doing? Let me get back to the text lines. Naughty, good afternoon. Cruise ship visitors are accounting for most of the tourist arrival numbers, and the private islands benefit most. Make it make sense. Those private islands are still a head scratcher to me right there. That's what I call shooting oneself in the foot and blowing off multiple toes, not just trucking heads.
Hey, Naughty, it's me again.
What's happening?
Yesterday, right? 3 cruise ships in the harbor. In Nassau, right? 2 of them is Royal Caribbean ships. If you could answer me how much people was on Bay Street, I'd give you $100.
I could make a broad guess. If you think 2 RCL ships were in port yesterday, how many tourists hit Bay Street? I would say less than 300.
They look so scary out there. You would think that's nighttime, man.
And just drop my $100 off to the receptionist at the Guardian, please. Put it in an envelope with my name on it.
But if you try to do like Carnival already at Freeport, right? And then Embassy now saying they want to build their little thing as well. Trust me, brother. Trust me. That'll be a big disaster.
If I'm not mistaken, MSC has a private key already? Mm-hmm. Ocean Key?
But that's the off the island.
Correct.
When they come here, all the tourists come off the boat here.
But if you look at other cruise ships now, some got private islands, some got in-port locations. Maybe MSC won like a close-to-port location as well as that off-island to get the whole haul.
We in trouble now. We in trouble.
Why I tell you. Yeah, but you know what I can tell you, and I can tell everybody else, if you're registered, get out and vote. If you haven't registered, register to vote. And if you've been registered and you ain't vote.
That's the talk and that's the sentiment.
All right, my brother, be safe.
All right, buddy.
Good stuff as always. That's what I'm saying. Lots of Bahamians have the same complaints and one of the same. 84% of your tourist arrival be monopolized by the cruise ship is crazy. Absolutely no brainer that it's crazy. It makes no sense. That model cannot be sustained. It's a quick fix for optics. Oh, we had 1 million arrivals. Okay, how many of them are cruise ship passengers? 800,000. And how much of them 800,000 spent? Squadouche. Because if we got so many tourists arriving, especially cruise ship passengers, why are we one of the lowest spends in the industry? See, these are the kind of questions Mr. Cooper needs to answer too. Where at the bottom, at the end of the line, at the end of the day, what's the bottom line? How much are we making off these passengers? How much are we making off these cruise ships? Not what we used to. And how many Bahamians in the tourism sector are feeling it in a positive way where they're making money? I don't think that the response from taxi drivers, tour operators, folks in the yachting industry, in the fishing industry, in the hospitality industry, straw vendors, that's to name a few. Bahamians are not feeling the number one industry, literally. We promote everything, pump everything into tourism. So then why aren't Bahamians eating off tourism? Cruise ships eating. Major resorts eating. What about Bahamians in the industry? Minimal. The bare minimum are eating, if that. This has to be addressed. There must be a solution. Or we need to diversify. Can't put all our eggs in one basket and Bahamians don't eat off any of the eggs out of that basket. And I ain't talking about the golden joke, because we ain't get no eggs out of that either. Let me go back to the text lines. And your Texas, like I say, Grand Bahama, I understand your plight. Naughty Grand Bahamians are tired, period. The PLP can no longer just think Grand Bahamians are fools or conks. Stand up, Grand Bahama. Let them know. You know my ties to Grand Bahama through my lovely wife, MJ. And I got awesome in-laws. My mother-in-law is awesome. Great father-in-law, great sister-in-laws, great brother-in-laws. I love Freeport. I enjoy being in Freeport when I go to Freeport. Freeport, to me, has unlimited potential on multiple levels. Industry, technology. But boy, I tell you, I live in Nassau and I feel it for Grand Bahama. I can only imagine what Grand Bahamians feel. And if I think your last recourse, Grand Bahama, like Abaco and like other family islands, is to show this administration at the polls what you think, because obviously after successive administrations and successive governments, I get everyone has their issues. But it seems like when this PLP administration, like other past PLP administrations, there is a significant neglect for Grand Bahama. I don't even live in Grand Bahama, and I want to say, well, what Grand Bahama do so? Grand Bahamians, tell me what y'all did, please. Please tell me. Enlighten me. All right. And like I say, phone lines open in New Providence. 323-6232. 325-4259. 325-4316. Toll free in any one of the Family Islands. 242-5720. Let me get back to the text lines. Naughty, could you speak about the poor estate that Bay Street and Shirley Street are in? My God. Bay Street got some issues, but then they paved that portion. But Shirley Street? Oh my goodness. Especially from doctors past PMH, past the embassy, was all the trenching and the digging up. What's going on there? Is that like electioneering? You all go dig up, make these contracts really quick, and then somebody else can patch it? And then, no, man. You got to get that right. Airport Road, heading down toward Old Fort Shopping Plaza. You all need to work on that road as well, too. A lot of heavy equipment on that road, going to Airport Industrial Park. That needs to be addressed as well. And I got flooding issues in that area, too. Let me get back to the text line. And then we'll get to the callers. Naughty, the PLP is trying to frustrate the registration and voter transfer process to steal this election. People don't let them do it. Don't feel voter frustration. Please get out, go through the process, and register to vote. Hi, Naughty. The Cayman Islands is not expanding its ports because they want to attract high-value stopover tourists to stay in the Ritz-Carltons and other high-luxury brand hotels. Notice Trump didn't ban any kind of visas for Caymanians. Good afternoon, Naughty. I took my 19-year-old to register because he wasn't interested. I also told him who to vote for since he wasn't interested. Mothers, we have to guide our children like how our grandparents guided and educated us. This election is serious. Mothers, we have to fix this. Now, ma'am, I appreciate you saying you got to guide your son. I love to watch how MJ guides our sons and nurtures them as well. And I know there is no love like a mother's love. But with all due respect, I hope you give fair guidance and objective guidance. It can't be like, well, your great-Grammy was a PLP, and your Grammy was a PLP, or your great-grandpa was an F&M, your grandpa was an F&M, your daddy is an F&M. 19. I'm glad you're mentoring them. I'm glad you're talking it up, and mothers do need to be involved, and parents do need to be involved, and remind your kids the importance of their vote. And I applaud you on that. And I applaud you for getting him out there to register. But at the end of the day, he's 19. So if he's got any questions, be there to answer. But you're raising a man, and you got to let him make his own choice. But I can't understand, and I read in between the lines too there, Mom. All right? So keep up the good work. Hey, Naughty, I'm convinced the PM and his crew is out of touch. And they're running out of tricks for Freeport. I hope Freeport is ready to vote this crew out. I've got to say bye-bye. Where's the golden yoke? Where's the golden joke? That's all we got. Naughty, didn't they borrow or earmark $200 million and now they only spending $100 million on the airport? They want to give us a village airport. Eh? Wow. Naughty, they had... Listen, I don't talk about Minister who and where the tourism money is and was and gone and who's benefiting. We have no information. Exactly, we don't have any information. Good afternoon, Naughty. I'm begging the PLP supporters to help rescue this nation. The world can see Brave needs to go home. Why would they want to continue to make their 75, almost 80-year-old daddy have to work another 5 years? We still give him his pension even though he only serves one term as PM. Please, man. Naughty, remember the Candyman movie? Be careful how you call that dude's name. He might appear. And then if he appears, the whole room will be taken up by his girth. That's the one you talking about there, Texter? You talking about Bonnie Twin? Naughty, Grand Bahamian stole it. No, man, you can't say that. Naughty, Grand Bahamian stole the PLP money. That's why they're being treated by... But PLP money Grand Bahamian stole. Tell me that story, man. Tell me that fable. My goodness. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hello, Noddy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I simply wanted to point out that nothing will happen on the east end or the west end of Grand Bahama sanctioned by the powers that be.
It's been that way for a long time, though, in Grand Bahama, though.
Pardon me?
It's been that way with East End and West End and Grand Bahama for a while now.
Yeah. So nothing is going to happen.
All right, Cole, I appreciate your sage advice on that one, man. Grand Bahamians, like I said, I want to hear from you. And I understand your pessimism. I understand you looking at the glass half empty rather than half full because of past and present situations. Naughty, good afternoon. None of the PIP trolls are available. Who's going to call to the show? Anton is gone, and the rest of the trolls seem to have disappeared. What's up in that war room? Roads and parks overrun, digging up Phil Smith parks. What is next? Naughty, I agree that Shirley Street area you just talked about is deplorable and getting worse. It is. And we got to do better than that, man. I mean, come on, we need basic infrastructure. Roads need to be done properly, you know? It can't be all of this, all buck up go when it comes to the roads. And we got plenty of deplorable roads here in New Providence, not to mention. Good afternoon, Naughty. What's up with Kingsley Smith? Looks like Artist Neely Jr. is going after that seat. I guess the PLPs in West End want Kingsley gone too, eh? That ties into more infighting in the PLP, which they're in denial of. And when you hear a name like Artist Neely Jr. in Grand Bahama and West End, my God. I mean, Senior was legendary in his own right. But now Junior is running, so come on. You're now having somebody move in who has legacy there via his father being in that position and then obviously being known in the community. Boy, Mr. Smith, I would be very afraid. But now there's allegations that have always been swirling that, you know, Mr. Smith is one of Mr. Mitchell's hand-picked crew, so you never know. But, like I said, we're going to have a look and see how that all pans out. But I know the F&M has a candidate down there already, Mr. Omar Isaacs, who's presented very well on this show and is not afraid to answer the questions. So we'll see. All right, let's get back to the text lines. Naughty, the road from Marktown to Pinder's Point wasn't paved from 1965. Oh, my God. But, Grandma, I got to ask you all why y'all keep allowing it? Now somebody's saying, no, Naughty, it's not Neely and Grant. It's not Neely. It's Grant running. Well, Sam McGarry, everybody one piece of best there. Why is there so many people interested in representing West End? Is that any indication of the job Mr. Smith has done? Let me know, Grand Bahama. And when I hear this, and I see this, this tells me that there is an issue with West End. Because remember now, it used to be West End and Bimini. Bimini's now in the boundary cuts has got its own seat. So what does that really say for West End? Very interesting, Mr. Bond. Very interesting. Naughty, we live from Grand Bahama. We gave the F&M 5 seats before, and we could do it again. It's very interesting, Grand Bahama, because I noticed that you got Reverend Michael Pine in Pine Ridge. And in all fairness, he's a good man, good peoples. I'm not going to get into the particulars as to why he's not on a major political party's ticket, but that man is represented for Pine Ridge, so you have to look at him. And then I have some other independents rearing their head in central Grand Bahama, but if I know anything like I know, when Grand Bahama say they fed up with the PLP, they normally give the F&M 5 seats. Is that where we're at right now, Grand Bahama? Is the PLP staring at losing 5 seats in Grand Bahama? And I'm basing it on what I'm hearing from you guys and past elections. But it's very interesting. Very interesting to see. All this trouble, you know. Not any updates on the Rackley court case? No, no updates. Naughty Kingsley Smith hasn't done anything in West End that was significant. Not even the lawnmower? To mow the grass? No? Okay. Just making sure. But I definitely get a sense that you know, Grand Bahama is fed up. I also get that sense from Eleuthera and from Grand Bahama and from Abaco. So we got to keep an eye on what's going on in the Family Islands as well. And I know we get caught up in the hustle and bustle here, and it's a hard road here in New Providence. But we have to look at the length and breadth. An upcoming election is coming, and we need all hands on deck to vote. I don't care who you vote for, you know. Just get out and exercise your God-given right to vote so we know where we're at as a country, with the majority of voters turning out. Again, not a minority deciding for a majority. Good afternoon, Naughty. I wonder what the Grand Bahamians do to the PLP. They're doing them real bad, but they're just waiting and not saying anything. West End is open a little while. DPM is a joke. Yo, Naughty, everyone wants West End because that's where all the drugs and humans, oh God, stop it. You got jokes today. Oh God. Ah, Lord. Naughty, I hear they don't want Dr. Shaky and Nasser, and they trying to run him back to Grand Bahama. We don't want him again neither. I've been hearing rumors out of Tall Pines. I've been hearing it. You know, I've been hearing it. So we'll see how it goes with that. I'll tell you one thing. The whole situation with the overtime for the nurses. Dr. Darville should tender his resignation. And Dr. Rose should as well, who has a doctorate, but is not a medical doctor, who's actually a nurse. But the way they handled that, or the way they bungled that alone, some resignation should be tendered. But then again, we have a problem in this country in calling out wrong where wrong is. We like to turn a blind eye, sweep it under the rug. Know better, do better. I say it all the time, and we need to act that way. All right, let's get to this first break. And on the flip side of the break, we'll get into sports. We'll talk some NBA. We'll talk some, week 1 of the Super Bowl rumblings. You got a whole another week to go with Press Row coming up. But we will talk some Seahawks and Patriots. And I'm sure we'll have a tight Rich Icing to get us home too as well. All right, let me check this last text real quick. All right, let's get to the break. Flip side of the break, we'll be talking sports as the Wednesday, January 28th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
5 in the air for the teacher, not scared to tell those kids that's living in the ghetto that they're pulling back that the world is theirs. Yeah, the world is yours. I was once that little boy, terrified of the world. Now I'm on a world tour. I will give up everything, even start a world war for these ghetto girls and boys. I'm rapping around the world for. And I detour, Oakland out to Oakland, Gaza Strip to Detroit. Say hip hop only destroy. Tell them look at me, boy. I hope your son don't have a and never be a D-boy.
Naughty Johnny's restaurant can only be described as the experience you want to recreate again and again and again. Their motto is simple food done well. You're welcome into their home at Naughty Johnny's, where you can dine on crack conch fritters, and other Bahamian favorites. There's also an international flair that's guaranteed to offer something for everyone. Enjoy a good meal and listen to a live band on their patio Friday and Saturday nights, or brunch on Saturday and Sunday, only at Naughty Johnny's restaurant in the Old Town Plaza, Old Fort. They're open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Naughty Johnny's, well worth the trip.
Put more money back in your pocket with the Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan. Why pay more when you can pay less? Reduce your monthly debt payments down to one low, easy payment. Apply for a Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Crunch boring lunches and enjoy real food at a real good price with KFC's value deals. For $5.95, you can get a famous bowl and drink or a one-piece chicken box. For max value, grab a value box. That's a piece of our iconic chicken, nuggets, cheesy mashed potato, a buttery biscuit, fries, a dessert biscuit, and soda, all for just $9.95. KFC value deals have got the crunch that you're looking for. KFC knows value, and it's finger-licking good.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Alright, the show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun up? Just remember when you come up. The show goes on alright. The show goes on all night till the morning. We dream so long. Anybody ever wonder?
We're back here on the Wednesday, January 28th edition of Talking Heads, and we can get into sports right now, but my God. Naughty, the hospital didn't get the overtime. And now, why am I getting pictures? And this is a good question. Naughty, does the PLP have permission to campaign on Go Slow Band? Why has a white SUV draped out in PLP paraphernalia been on display at Go Slow Band for over a week on and off now? And I have the pictures to look at it. It's a white, appears to be Land Rover. No license plate because it's covered up with a PLP banner and flags. And, well, I suggest what's good for the goose is good for the gander. F&M and COI, get your relative vehicles and park them up right out there as well, too. I mean, it's not like that stupid seawall that took 18 months to build at what cost we still don't know, that blocks the pristine view of Go Slow Band. Makes a difference. You may as well pile them up there and do your campaign, and everybody should have a shot there then. If the PLP posts up there, let's see the F&M and the COI posts up there too. Naughty, now I know why they call Dr. Dovell the ducking doctor, or you call him Shaky. Please duck and head back to Freeport where all your homies would be soon. The mask is... Even Anton is maskless. You're not wanted in Tall Pines. Wow. But Dr. Dovell do so in Tall Pines. Anyhow, let's move to sports. And a couple of things. Let's jump right on in with Major League Baseball. You know, they soon report in I think maybe 60 days or so. Pitchers and catchers report. But some news out of the World Baseball Championships. Altuve and Correa to miss the World Baseball Championships due to insurance issues. The Rockies deal Chivilli to the Yanks, acquire twins Julian. And for the Yankee fans, just to bring you up to snuff, the New York Yankees added to their bullpen Wednesday by acquiring right-handed reliever Angel Chivilli in a trade with the Colorado Rockies. They sent minor league infielder T.J. Rumfield to Colorado for Chivilli, a 23-year-old from the Dominican Republic. With 2 seasons of Major League experience, he had a 7.06 ERA and 43 relief appearances for the Rockies last year, and a 4.55 ERA and 30 appearances with them in 2024. Getting out of the rare air of Colorado may help this kid. In his career, Chivilli has struck out 71 batters, walked 33, and allowed 20 home runs in 90 and one-third innings. To make room on the 40-man roster for Chivilli, the team designated outfielder Michael Siami for assignment. The move is the Yankees' latest in an offseason that has also included them getting lefty starter Ryan Weathers from the Miami Marlins in exchange for 4 prospects. Coming off making the AL Division Series, they also brought back pitchers Ryan Yarbrough, Paul Blackburn, and Tim Hill. Rumfield, 25, is a Richmond, Virginia native who has played in the minors in the Philadelphia Phillies and Yankees organization since 2021. So we'll see how that works out for the bullpen in New York. Peralta is willing to consider a new deal with the Mets after being traded over from the Mariners. Giants signed Breda to a 2-year, $20.5 million deal. The Brewers signed catcher McGuire to a minor league deal. And Twins and right-handed pitcher Ryan agreed to a 1-year, $6.2 million deal. This is very interesting here. Pitcher Joe Ryan and the Minnesota Twins agreed, avoided salary arbitration, agreed Monday to a 1-year contract guaranteed $6.2 million. Definitely a good look for the Twins. He was 13-10 with a 3.42 ERA and 30 starts last year. They wanted to retain him and bring him back. I'm telling you, keep an eye on the Twins in that American League Central. All right, and Yamamoto, Dodgers ace Yamamoto, is on Japan's World Baseball Championship roster. So look out for that Japanese team as well in the WBC. All right, let's move to the NBA. Let's check out the NBA news that's generated. We got some trade buzz swirling. Giannis preps for Bucks exit amid offers. Now, he's injured, but according to Shams Charania of The Athletic, who moons light on ESPN, 2-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready for a new home. Ahead of the February 5th trade deadline, several teams have made aggressive offers to the Milwaukee Bucks. We're starting to listen. League sources told ESPN on Wednesday multiple teams have received a sense that the Bucks are more open than ever to moving Giannis. Offers between now and the deadline, league sources say, will get fast and furious. However, Milwaukee has indicated to interested teams that they'll move and is willing to navigate Giannis' future in the offseason if it's believed price point of a blue-chip young talent and or surplus of draft picks isn't met. Sources said by waiting until the summer, the Bucks could also see which teams are able to offer more appealing draft picks in June. Sources said Giannis has informed the Bucks for months that he believes the moment has come to part ways after 12-plus years, making a trade increasingly possible. The Bucks at 18-27 are 12th in the Eastern Conference, and they face significant questions about their future direction, which has led to open and honest conversation between the two sides. So look for Giannis to get moved. Houston Rockets center Steven Adams has undergone season-ending surgery on his left ankle. This according to ESPN Shams Charania on Wednesday. Adams suffered the injury on January 18th against New Orleans Pelicans in a victory while guarding Zion Williams near the rim. Adams was injured when he jumped to contest a shot from Williams and immediately grabbed his left ankle upon landing. So the season is over for Steven Adams. That's a big blow for the Rockets. San Antonio star Victor Wembanyama on Tuesday articulated his thoughts on a pair of fatal shootings by federal agents in Minnesota, saying in part that he is horrified. The shootings of Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, and Renee Gold, a 37-year-old mother of 3, occurred during a widespread immigration enforcement operation recently in Minneapolis, leading to protests in freezing temperatures and heightened tensions between citizens and law enforcement throughout the day. Wembanyama, when asked by reporters about the unrest, expressed some resistance to speak out because he's not a United States citizen, acknowledged he was doing so against the advice of the team. Yeah, PR has tried, but I'm not going to sit here and give some politically correct answer. The Frenchman told reporters after practice at Victory Capital Performance Center, every day I wake up and see the news and I'm horrified. I think it's crazy that some people might make it seem like or make it sound like the murder of civilians is acceptable. It's not. Investigations into the fatal shootings continue. Well, way to go, Granby. Way to speak up and stand up. Cavs Mobley sidelined by calf strain. Cavaliers forward Evan Mobley will be sidelined for the second time this season because of a strained left calf. This according to team sources on Thursday. That might be another chink in the armor of the Cavaliers where they can't really get to where they need to be. Injuries have really depleted them this season. If you look at the rising stars for the NBA Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony squad, he made Dallas Mavericks forward Cooper Flagg the number 1 pick in the June 3rd NBA draft. The first pick in Tuesday night's draft of 3 teams made up of rookie and sophomore players in the Rising Stars Challenge. The first 4 picks, in fact, were all members of the 2025 NBA draft class, with Flagg being followed by Hornets guard Con Knuppel, who was taken with the second pick by Tracy McGrady. And Vince Carter then took Philadelphia 76ers all the way from Bimini guard VJ Edgecombe and New Orleans forward Derek Queen. Listen here, Vince Carter got the high risers on his team. Vince got the high flyers, you know. VJ going to be motivated by Vince Carter in his ear to do some spectacular things, go into the rim. I might be interested in watching this portion of NBA All-Star Weekend. All right, let's slide to the NFL now. And I get you some Super Bowl news coming up. I hear there's a rumor circulating that all the past Kansas City Chiefs fans are now Seattle Seahawks fans. Any truth to those rumors? I would like to know. Any truth to those rumors? Because you know we got some bandwagon jumpers here. You know we got some bandwagon jumpers here in the 242. Okay? So have we got more bandwagon jumping going on, or are y'all longtime Seattle fans? I need to know. I need to know what pain and suffering y'all have been through following the Seattle Seahawks. Okay? All right. Couple of coaching changes in the NFL. Joe Brady moved from offensive coordinator to head coach of the Bills yesterday. And now the Browns have a brand new head coach. So where are we going with this? Browns have a new head coach, Todd Monken, but the drama is far from over. So we'll see where that goes. And more NFL hirings just evaporating right in front of everybody's eyes. A lot of hires. And that's why, you know, folks ran through the interview process, and a lot of people like Flores have returned to Minnesota, you know, and other people have gotten defensive coordinator positions elsewhere in the league. And you're going to see some head coaches sitting on the sofa this year, like McDermott, and probably he'll return next season to coach somewhere. NFL Hall of Fame balloting. Bill Belichick, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Our final is Kurt Warner and Rich Eisen talking about why he wasn't selected into the Hall of Fame. Now, Kurt Warner saying the scandals should be incorporated. And I know why Kurt Warner will say that, because they beat him in the Super Bowl. And I don't know if that was the dawning of Spygate or not. But nonetheless, we got the take home today with Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner talking about, you know, this cheating scandals that Belichick was involved with. That did cost him a first ballot nod into the Hall of Fame. And you could have that debate all day. He's got 8 Super Bowls, 6 as a head coach, 2 as an assistant. The Patriots dynasty, that all goes in his favor. But the scandals and the cheating, I think, should deny him first ballot status because it compromised the integrity of the game. And that's the area. And you had Bill Polian, you know, leading this charge in retirement for years. Because he feels like they probably swung the Colts out of some too. So there you go. Well, Texter, you just texted in. What's my thoughts on Bill Belichick not making first ballot Hall of Fame? I just answered. Let me know back if you heard me. And we got Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner talking about it on the ride home in the final 10. So you want to stick around for that. Yeah, that is the hot topic. And like I said, Belichick, if you just look at the body of work, the 2 championships as defensive coordinator in the Giants under Parcells, the 6 in New England, put him in rarefied air. He's like the Phil Jackson of the NFL. But he's got that scandal. Spygate. It's going to take away from his legacy, not really Brady's legacy. Brady won 7 outside of the 6 he won with Belichick in New England. So that gave him some credibility, that Tampa Bay Super Bowl. Okay, well, he did it without the Patriots in Spygate. Belichick did it in grand fashion with the Patriots, but the Spygate, I think, takes away from it. So instead of not allowing him into the Hall of Fame because of it, because I don't want to see another Pete Rose scenario, then his punishment should be you don't go in as the first ballot Hall of Fame, even though you should. You got caught up in this Spygate, take your punishment. He'll probably be voted in next year. What's more important is how he could win all them Super Bowls in the NFL and can't win a damn college football game to save his life. That's the real question. So, let's have a gander at pick of the day coming up as we exit out right before we get into the final 10 with Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner talking about Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I do have my other picks for you today. Let's have a look at the NBA. You got a full slate on the NBA tonight. You got the Lakers taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Lakers 28-17, Cavaliers 28-20. Mobley injured. Cleveland 3.5-point favorites. Something tells me take the Lakers in 3.5 tonight. I think LeBron is back home. Braun going to try to do something special. The Bulls and the Pacers. Chicago 1.5-point favorites against the Pacers. I'm going to roll with the Bulls in this one by the 1.5. They've been trying to get it together lately. Pacers is where you put me, so I'll roll with the Bulls tonight minus the 1.5. Celtics and the Hawks. Hawks 23-25, Celtics 29-17. Celtics 5.5-point favorites. I'll take the Celtics and the money line in this one. These two teams always play tight. I'll take the Celtics and the money line in this one. Magic on the road against the Heat. Magic 23-22. Heat 25-22. Miami 3.5-point favorites. Listen, the Magic play well against the spread. I like the Heat to probably win this one. But give me the Magic plus the 3.5. Give me the Magic plus the 3.5. I think this game is going to be tighter than folks think. And the 231.5 over is also a good option in this game. Knicks on the road against the Raptors. Raptors 4.5-point favorites. Total over is 217. I'll take the over of 217.5 in this one. Knicks and the Raptors. Hornets and the Grizzlies lock up tonight. Grizzlies, Charlotte 1.5-point favorites. Give me the Grizzlies plus the 1.5. I think they get it done at home. Timberwolves on the road against the Mavericks. Minnesota 7.5-point favorites. Over at 228.5. Or take the Timberwolves via the money line. Warriors and the Jazz. Take the Jazz plus the 8.5. The Warriors probably going to win this game, but the Jazz are excellent against the spread. So take the Jazz plus the 8.5. Rockets and the Spurs link up tonight. I like the Spurs in this one. Houston 3.5-point favorites. No Steven Adams. Give me the Spurs plus the 3.5 in this one. And that's what I like. All right? Give me the Spurs plus the 3.5. All right? And that's a wrap right there on my pro picks. We're going to take a quick break. I got my free pick of the day coming up on the flip side of the break, as well as Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner taking us home with the final 10, discussing Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. All right? And yeah, New England fans still be New England fans. Your head coach going into the Hall of Fame, just not this year. All right, that's a wrap, man. For everybody who texted in, called in, and chimed in. For Mr. Producer, this is your boy Naughty. We'll do it again tomorrow right here on Talking Heads. Keep it right where you got it. Rich Eisen taking us home right after the break. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Talking Heads.
Hungry? Well, Well, Burger King Nassau is turning up the flavor at a great price. The King Meal Deals give you big taste, value, and options for just $5.50, including VAT. Love that BK Flame Grill beef? Grab a Rodeo Burger Jr. served with crispy fries and a drink. Or if you like chicken, go for the Rodeo Crispy Chicken Jr. or the 6-piece nugget meal, also with fries and a drink. One price, tons of choices, and flavor that hits 50 cents at Burger King Nassau, where taste is on fire.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream.
Naughty back at you with my free pick of the day, brought to you by the Island Game. Today is Wednesday, and my free pick comes to you from the NBA. The Golden State Warriors on the road taking on the Utah Jazz. I like the Jazz +5 at home. The Jazz may not have a winning record, but they're great against the spread. So give me the Jazz +5 against the Warriors. That's my free pick of the day. Play it and win with the Island Game. The game you know, the friends you trust. And the Island Game always reminds you to play responsibly.
Kurt Warner in his usual Wednesday spot right here, Pro Football Hall of Famer. And Kurt, right? I mean, what are your thoughts on the fact that Bill Belichick is not going to be joining you and your colleagues in the bus gallery second he can? Kurt?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all feel it's crazy with what he's accomplished. I mean, you know, when you just look at what they've done, and you look at, you know, we always talk about Tom Brady being the greatest of all time at you know, from a playing standpoint. I mean, you can't argue that Bill Belichick's the greatest of all time accomplished in the NFL. And so, to me, it's one of those no-brainers. You know, as soon as he becomes eligible, he should be a Hall of Famer. And so, I think we're all kind of dumbfounded by how this went down and why this went down, and you know, what were the reasons behind him not getting in, and are those reasons valid? You know, I mean, we talk about the voting process now. Oh, did people pass up on him because they thought everybody else would vote for him and he would get in? Are people mad because coaches, you know, only have to wait 1 year, and so, you know, maybe Bill Belichick comes back to the NFL, so we don't want to make him a Hall of Famer and then have him come back to coach? Is that the thing? Is it the scandals that he was a part of? You know, so we're gonna hold him out for what? Is this a 1 year? Like, hey, can't be a first ballot guy? Is this he'll never get in because of those things? I'm fascinated, like everybody else, to know what were the factors, you know, that made so many people choose not to put this guy in that you know, everybody that's watched the game and is part of the game knows belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, I think we all know why, Kurt, right? I mean, we don't know for sure because nobody's given voice, and it wasn't just a small smattering. It was 11 people.
Yeah.
11 people at least were the ones who decided it can't be, you know, he could come back. His name hasn't been mentioned a couple of times through now coaching carousels. Yeah. He's approaching his mid-70s. It can't be that. It is definitely the scandals and then people in the room who felt that they were wronged by it. Or they are the guardians at the gates of the Hall of Fame, as if the Hall of Fame has never let somebody to into the hall. It's ridiculous. But I do have to ask you, you know, because there are many Rams fans that from back in the day when you lost the first Super Bowl to Brady that thought that Belichick might have seen something in a practice of yours that was private. Do you know? So I should ask you. You're already shaking your head about it. Like, do you think these scandals, the cheating stuff, should be held to account right now on Bill?
Well, I mean, to your point about other guys being in, that, yeah, I mean, I feel like if anybody cheats the game or goes around the rules or does anything to gain an advantage over everyone else, that should be taken into account. I mean, that to me is what's great about competition, is it's about going out there on an even playing field and seeing who can win in that situation. So I do believe, that if you have cheated in some form or fashion, that it should be taken into account at all times. But what does that mean? And as you said, how do we weigh that with all the different things that we've seen? What's too much? But if we wanted to come out with a rule and say, hey, if you break a rule in terms of going above and beyond to get a competitive advantage, you can't ever be in the Hall of Fame. I could live with that. I could live with that. So everybody would know from this point forward, you get caught using performance-enhancing drugs or, a cheating scandal, that's off the table for you. I could live with that. And now maybe, that stuff disappears and that's the choice that people make. I think what's hard now is how do you determine all of that, and what's enough to keep somebody out of the Hall of Fame, and what's the level of it? Because I mean, even with this, with the Spygate, I've heard so many different things so I have no idea what really happened there. I have no idea the extent or, how little was really done there and what it affected. I don't know. And so I don't have the facts to be able to determine, what really went on, how much it did really help them. Did that have a huge impact on the success, all that stuff. And so without having any of that knowledge and knowing what you just said about the Hall of Fame and different people that are in the Hall of Fame, I think the bottom line is he has accomplished enough to be considered a first ballot Hall of Famer and should be in the Hall of Fame. And it doesn't make sense to me that he wasn't voted